Hello everyone, welcome to the Jenkins Infrastructure Weekly Team Meeting. First of all, Happy New Year 2026 for the people who celebrate this. We are the 6th January 2026. And around the virtual table we have myself, Damien Duportal, Mark Waite, Stefan Merle, Hervé Lemeur, and Jerry. Welcome everyone. Okay, Bruno is not here as far as I can tell. Here we are.
Bruno got an appointment he would not attend.
So let's get started. We have a lot of things since the past two milestones were one big milestone. Three past milestone. First of all, we had two weekly releases since last time we met. 2.543. Yes, initially the plan was to have no weekly release during the Christmas holidays, but yeah, you know, I could say it could be an excuse to avoid the family during Christmas, but that will only be a bad and negative thing. So I will say, hey, we were able to deliver things that were time constrained. The first one, we need a new GPG key, and that new GPG key that will be best if it was on the upcoming LTS that will happen. The new line will start in 21 January, so in 2 weeks, because the time before the end of that LTS line, we will reach the expiration of the GPG key. So changing the GPG key on LTS is a bad surprise for users. So if you do an inverted Gantt diagram, you say, hey, if we have in weekly, we need to have at least, in LTS, we need at least one weekly before, ideally two. So that's why we rushed on this win. That was part of 2.543, among other bug fixes in the staging environment, the menu portal. You broke things, you had to fix them. Last week, we also had 2.544, which features GDK 25. So images, I guess we are speaking about Docker images. Is that correct? Because GDK
Yes.
25 was supported since
Yes. Yeah, those
Yes.
are they're container images, and not just their container images, but they're container images that Mark Waite is now using to test 2.541.1 as my basis. So I've switched
Ooh,
my testing to Java 25 to get ready
nice.
for the next LTS. So I'm running 25 in my test environment. So yes, thanks very much, Hervé, for doing that. Thanks, Damien, for your work on it, and it's actually quite smooth. I'm really impressed at how smooth it is. Okay, there's some additional noise from the Java 25 warnings at runtime about Xstream, but it's in terms of user behavior, it's looking great.
It's cool. Thanks for the work, Hervé. And earlier today, we were able to release 2.545. So with the new planning, it's already running on our infrastructure. Thanks, Jay, for that work. And that one, in particular, features the fact that we replaced for the Docker controller image Windows Server 2019 by 2022. Next week, we should expect 2025 if things are going in the right direction. Is that correct, Hervé? Cool. Thanks again for this work, because that's the same. Windows Server 2019 is deprecated in March. So the LTS background, so inverted Gantt diagram, we need it on weekly. So yep, that also means we will be able to stop providing Windows 2019 in the upcoming weeks in the infrastructure part. So that's all for the weekly releases we were able to release. Are there any questions about these 3 weekly releases?
Well, a small one, but more
Hmm?
for the doc officer. I was thinking maybe we should add feature and breaking change into the official changelog, like we've done when we started publishing GDK 21 by default.
Good
Yes,
point.
I agree. We should. We need a banner or at minimum a
Yeah,
changelog entry, but
Yep.
it
it's
was a
something that
banner
says
previously.
Yep.
Yeah.
we
Uh,
should follow the same pattern. If we used a banner before, let's use a banner again.
yep. Are you okay to open the pull request, Hervé?
Yeah, we'll
Cool.
take care of that.
Don't hesitate to look at what team pushed me to do for the weekly that introduced the unified RPM, that the usage of the banner with code and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
The pull request should.
I'm familiar with it.
Okay, cool. Then on the announcements, what do we have? Jenkins DigiCert certificate used to sign the Jenkins MSI installer expires in 4 months. Good news, we have 1 more month. We initially thought it was earlier than that.
Yeah, but
So the bad, yep,
bad news is it's a lot more complicated than I hoped.
yep. So
At
we've
least
put
it looks more
details.
complicated than I'd hoped.
Yep. We have different solutions. So right now, the two things to consider. You have details on the issue or discussion I need to check. First, since most of the trusted certificate root providers certified by Microsoft, like DigiCert, now require a physical token. When you generate the certificate, you have to use the physical token as the second or third line of authentication with the root cert. But Azure allows us to use an HSM appliance that looks compatible with DigiCert as per team findings. So that could be one solution, still a tedious one. The other solution that we started to look on, I need to put the documentation on that issue because it's lost somewhere in a matrix thread. Microsoft provide also signing certificates feature that would allow using Azure services, so inside Azure Vault and stuff. So maybe we could have a provider change. We will be billed for this one, but that will be way cheaper and way easier if everything is inside Azure.
Yeah, we spend 1,500 US every 3 years when we buy that DigiCert certificate. So if we could get it cheaper by switching to Azure, certainly the project would be grateful.
Yep.
And the reimbursement request process, I would be deeply grateful because it's a hassle to get reimbursed.
So that's the current status. The fallback will be a GitHub action using OIDC, but that one will be way more tedious than even the digital token. If we have to go the digital token, we could also mimic what other projects are doing. Since we are usually assembled on FOSDEM at least once every 3 years, the person with the digital token could come there and we could have 2 or 3 officers or board person that will do a ceremony to generate the new certificate if need be. We could do the same with the GPG key and have something physical in last remain. For now, it's still being studied. We were waiting for PKG migration and the new GPG keys, so we can resume the work here, and we can start testing things because since we have a staging for packages, that will be easy to have a Windows build with a new tentative certificate. Worst case, it fails. Best case, it provides a Jenkins MSI signed certificate from Azure itself. Anything else on this one? On the announcement areas, so Jenkins weekly line, since 2 weeks now, is using a new GPG key. Yes, it started in 2025 and the key is named 2026. Yes, but still we keep the 3 years rotation and it should be in the LTS in 2 weeks. We have published the blog post and updated the blog posts because looks like it was confusing. We will update the blog post after LTS. Yes, Mark?
So I know that Chris Stern and Shalini are working on the backports to Jenkins Core, but is somebody else working on the backports for packaging? Because I don't think they've got the experience to do a successful backport for packaging.
Yes, Hervé and I. Hervé is
Good.
on the packaging part, and I'm on the release part, which is close to packaging but more infra. So
Great.
we spread the load and we share knowledge in that way.
Excellent.
Good,
Thank you. I was
good
just
point.
worried that if we tell them to backport, they will inevitably make terrible mistakes because of the complexity of this particular backport.
Yep. And
Okay.
by the way, we fixed the init LTS. Thanks, Hervé and Mark. The LTS generation script. Otherwise, we would have shipped the removal of JDK 17 in Windows installer accidentally because the script was creating the branch from the latest commit of master instead of the
Right.
baseline.
Which
Yep,
is usually okay because we hardly ever change packaging. However, this release we've changed packaging maybe even more than we've changed Jenkins core for the, so yeah.
fair.
That's
So, yep. Um, on the next announcement, we successfully moved PKG to Azure. Yes, that was a funny one. Um, no additional costs have been detected after that migration. Yes. So the trick, should I say my magician, my wizard trick? My wizard trick is, hey, Damien, you are migrating this, and there are two word patterns. First one, oh, that's weird. The request can directly hit the machine, and they are not redirected to Fastly. That should be the only requester to the machine. So, yep, that was costing almost 2K per per month in bandwidth. And the second one, it was only 1.2K of bandwidth per month, so less impressive, but still there was slash direct URI for Debian packages that allow direct download of the Debian packages from the machine or PKG itself without going through Fastly, without going through get Jenkins IO where it should be. That was an old thing for support of apt 0.7. So, Ubuntu 12.
yeah, or
Oh,
Debian 6 or right, whatever ancient so long dead, right? I mean, we haven't
yes.
supported that level of Debian operating system for many years.
Yeah.
Before J birth.
No, not that much. Not
Uh,
that much.
but
Not that much.
Jay was probably quite young when
Yes. Yep. He was learning to read, I believe. Anyway, so the machine, the service has been migrated. It serves and it hosts way less data than it used to be because it used to be a big machine. The machine has been stopped since yesterday, uh, and we still haven't seen any errors. So I'm really happy with the outcome. So it's time to clean up. We will get
so
an archive. Yep, sorry.
say that again. You said you've actually switched the machine off.
Yep,
pkg.origin.jenkins.io, the machine, that thing that had been running Ubuntu 18 for all those years,
yep,
is powered off. Well
yep.
done. Thank you, everybody.
And congratulations because that one is huge. I mean, I know,
Right, right.
I
Uh,
know.
Thank you.
That has been quite the fun. And now we are in the next step of cleaning it up in order to allow closing the AWS CloudBees account. One of the last important step outside the Puppet cleanup is to archive the content of the hard drive of that machine inside Azure. We need one last copy, a few $100 of bandwidth, and we're done. So yep. So that's a great milestone that allows us resuming normal work on other tasks. And as such, the infra roadmap deserve an update. I've almost finished my local changes, and I will open the pull request later today. So the new priorities proposed for the upcoming month are the following: support for Windows 2025 and depreciation of Windows 2019. It's already in the work in progress, so that one shouldn't change. Get rid of Puppet. It used to be near term, and we will move it in work in progress. The first areas for working on that will be the Packer image. We discussed and shared knowledge with Stefan 1 month and 2 months ago, with Hervé last week, no, yesterday, sorry. So that one will be a new one to focus on. I think the first step is to learn Ansible for most of you and start applying it in Packer image. That can be split in many teeny tasks. Thanks to the work that Stefan did on Packer image with the testing, we can simply add Ansible next to the shell provisioning, add both, and move part by part, like start installing Maven in an Ansible role, then GDKs, then stuff. We have the tests we are safe, and everyone can contribute on this one. And my proposal is to start with GDK 25 as runtime for our controllers. So we can start with weekly as soon as when we want. That will be a really nice task for Jay since he's already upgrading these things every week. Credits, ideas is the credits to Hervé. That's a really good thing. So Hervé will be able to drive Jay on that area. Yes, Mark.
So we've also got an Ansible usage in the, if I recall correctly, in the packaging tests.
Yes, absolutely.
So another place where Ansible will benefit us the more we know about it.
Yep. The only thing with the packaging is that there is just a bit of Ansible. It's more the molecule testing. It's more the ability to define a matrix of operating systems and installation patterns, and then you build that and run that matrix automatically. But still, it's a good start and will allow the infra to help on the molecule part as well if needed. But that's a good point. That's one of the reasons why we decided to go with Ansible, since Red Hat show that they are considering it a common good and an open source project, and they chose to be clear about the licensing and investment they make. So at least one good news in the open source area. We might add new top priorities until next week, time for Evan High to finish knowledge sharing, since I will be gone for 6 to 8 weeks, and based on the events. But yeah, this should be the next upcoming priorities. Are there any questions about the roadmap and the top level priorities, folks? Okay. Team presence. So as I said, I will be off for 6 weeks. In theory, starting 1st February. For the rest, the baby will decide. And that leads us to the upcoming calendar. We have a weekly next week, like every Tuesday. Looks like the new timing is good. Is it okay for you, Jay, to have the weekly early like we did? Cool. So let's
Yeah,
continue.
I'm
I
good
don't.
with that. I was of the assumption that the upgrades would happen later in my day, but this time works for me. It's well within my working day.
Cool. We moved it early for you, but really early, so we have a margin when things goes wrong. It let us time to fix and relaunch the builds if need be. Next LTS. So the release candidate happened on the 7th January. So the RC is more on the core itself. For the infra part, we will be interested on 21 January. In theory, I'm here, but since I can be gone at any moment, that's why I've onboarded Hervé on the backporting process, at least for packaging. Release is easy. And we are working on the RPM unified part because it has an impact on the infrastructure. So yeah, that LTS will have a lot of new things on the infra packaging for us. Set aside all the already things in the changelog from the core. Mark, we discussed 3 weeks ago, but Hervé convinced me on the other direction. We will keep the same behavior for the RPM, unified RPM. User will be automatically migrated, and they will have to do an operation if they want to roll back. They will have to change their UMRI profile.
Okay.
The argument that Hervé made on that makes sense is the same as what we did with the security releases weekly. We want people to be upgraded because most of the person just upgrade all the time. New user will use the new endpoint /rpm stable. And we will keep the /rpm stable legacy and OpenSUSE stable legacy if people want to roll back. So we will have the same changelog as what we had for weekly, except we will change the endpoints, of course.
Good. That sounds great. Thank you. Thanks for considering all the alternatives.
Initially, I proposed to Mark the other way around. People had to do a manipulation in order to jump to that new LTS. That was under the assumption that they also had to add the new GPG key. But with the unified RPM system and the changes we made along the way in the past weeks, everything is automatic. If you do it interactively, your YUM upgrade, it will say, hey, there is a new key inside the package. Do you want to use it? Yes and no. And if you automate tasks with whatever system, then the new key will be automatically loaded by the repository, like it does with normal YUM repositories. So finally, we have an RPM package, which is really good. And that's cool. Any question on the core releases? Cool. We don't have any security advisory announced. And we have a few credentials expiring in the upcoming 3 weeks. We did a lot in advance with Hervé for passing knowledge and to check the permissions everywhere. The big ones, repo Jenkins CI, we have the certificates. In theory, we just have to upload it. Hervé can see the area and see the edit button. It's just that we need to test it first because Mark, I don't know if you remember, we broke Artifactory when we did that last year, the two of us, because there were an history of change certificate in a certain format. So it's just one command away that's written somewhere, but that year, the proposal is, hey, let's test it with a local Nginx web server on Hervé's machine with the certificate. We check the correct format and what it's okay, we can upload it. We have the update center generation that expires in February. That one, I might need to generate the new certificate myself because it requires access to the 10 years certificate authority. And yep, we don't want many people to have access to this. So I can generate the new cert. Once the new cert has been uploaded, though, Hervé or anyone else can take over. I think that's what we did last year, Stefan. I think I generated the bits and I shared it
Yes,
subs with you, and you did all the rest.
exactly.
Cool.
Everything is tracked in the issue. It's quite easy, if I
Yep.
remember correctly.
I think that one was quite smooth, except we just have to communicate saying, hey, we're going to change it. It might delay of 1 hour the plugins update, and we're good. Any question, Hervé, on this one? So that means I will, as soon as possible, generate the new certificate and share it with you, with the team encrypted in subs, and then I will let you do the other steps, or I will do them if I'm still there waiting on 21 before 21. VPN CRL expires. That one, I guess, Hervé, we decided you do this one. You ask Stefan for help if it doesn't work, because Stefan did the CRL at least 2 last time, and we have enough
Super
information.
easy.
And we just check that you have access to the CA authority inside the VPN. And that one, it's okay to give access through subs to the team. Everyone in the team have access to it, as far as I remember. And yeah, Digital Ocean, yeah, that one an easy one as well. Hervé, you have access to the billing. That means you have access to the token board, and it's documented in issues. It's just we have to think about that rotation.
Hervé, anytime you call me if you need something and if it's not working or anything, and we look at that together with my computer. No big deal.
Thanks. Damien, what do you think about trying pairing with Shay so we can try the digital ocean path renewal?
That looks a good idea for me. Jay, are you okay to work on this one?
Yeah, I can.
Cool.
Let me think. Jay has access to decrypt the Infra CI secrets. That will be
Yeah,
the
we have to check. Yeah, so
that
recommend, but
yep, that will be the only blocker. Outside of this, he has access on Kubernetes management on the configuration. Digital Ocean, it's okay. Yep, that looks good. And Hervé, you should be co-owner like Stefan, Mark, and I, so you should be able to grant access to Jay. So that will be a great exercise to see if you need me or not.
yep.
Good. We have issues to create. Hervé, you are responsible for the VPN one. I'm responsible for the update center. And Jay, you will have to create the issue for Digital Ocean. That's a task for this milestone, creating the issue. We don't have to run the issue. We have to create the issue. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So yes, we will be able to see each other, except Damien, on end of January, beginning of February in Brussels. I hope you will have a lot of fun. Anything else on calendar, folks? Okay, so cloud budgets. First, December on Azure, that was really good, 5.4K with a 6.0 threshold target. That means we were able to not consume some credits that will come really handy this year. This year, we have asked the CDF for 24K because the plan is to use the new credits we have on Azure sponsored, 100K of credits. That should be good. However, that might be funny because right now Alex is currently I don't know, fighting is the word with the Azure support, as far as I can tell, because we have the credit, but he cannot create a subscription in where to use. When you create the subscription, either he as owner or me as tenant owner, we have a word, hey, contact Azure support for with that error code. So yep, he pinged them few 3 or 4 days ago again. I haven't heard any news. So we might have a March or April really short. Right now we should be able to last until May with the current consumption. So these are good news. So I hope we will be able to do things on time. I shared with Hervé the plan, and that's why I haven't put the issue yet on the roadmap, but moving bits to the Azure sponsored thing in order to decrease the CDF cost this year uh, are are still to be decided and defined. Mark and Hervé have clear ideas of these elements. Just in case, Stefan worked with me last year on the other way around, so we should be able to survive. Worst case, we will contact CDF and tell Michel Martineau and her team, hey, we might need 6K more for 1 more month, please. In theory, that money should be on the bank account for us for 2027. So right now I'm not writing anything on the notes. It's public, but I don't want to commit by writing these things until we know which direction. So we won't lose ourselves on that matter. DigitalOcean, the costs are decreasing, and I have no idea why. Clearly bandwidth on archive Jenkins IO because that's the biggest source of cost. That's half of the cost here. Why is it decreasing? Can't tell. Maybe the PKG thing has impact that we haven't fully comprehended yet.
Maybe they are upgrading us to new machine, not like your other provider. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure we are using that amount, even $400 per month of compute. That mean we are using huge machines,
No,
right?
it's band switch, or maybe they don't score it and calculate it correctly, but that's band
Yep.
switch.
Stefan, I was thinking since we ran a lot of migration during October and November, maybe Census and the other could have cost. This could be migration costs.
Maybe the data migration. Yeah.
But yeah,
But
anyway,
we haven't done that much. I mean, one earthing massive one and then small ones.
yeah,
So
true. Yeah, true. Yeah,
not much.
so
So
serious doubt that it will be this then. But yeah, we have 10K credits valid until 2027. Ay, ay, ay.
okay, because if not, it's too late. Okay, good.
So we have 1 year of DigitalOcean at that rate. That's really cool. And we can even ask them for more. They are open to it. But of course, if we ask them for more, we have to have consumed at least 8K of the 10K, given the rates. AWS CloudBees, yep, we decreased the cost. January is forecasted at less than 300 because we still have a bunch of snapshots and SSH keys and let's say resources everywhere. That will be the last month we should be built because we are going to clean it up drastically and close the account. And thanks, Hervé, for that detailed analysis that is absolutely good and well targeted. We had a huge increase in the consumption of the credits in Amazon due to CI Jenkins IO. And clearly, it's the fingers are pointed to a bug on the EC2 plugin. I would have hoped that CI Jenkins IO could go back to Azure where we don't have that kind of problems. But yeah, that means we need to prioritize soon when I say soon, it means in January, the EC2 GC. So a task that run in Infra CI and that say, hey, if I see an EC2 instance with the SSH key from CI Jenkins IO that is older than 6 hours, kill it with fire immediately. And I think 6 hours is already a large one.
Well, and I think we may even have a more direct test because on the UI at least it says the instance SSH key was unexpected or impossible to check, and if we ever see that, I think we can just delete the agent, right? I mean, that at least that's the technique I've been using is when I see that message for an agent on the CI Jenkins IO agent list, I just delete the agent.
Good idea. That will be even faster to detect instead of waiting for a threshold. Yep.
Yeah, and now it doesn't certainly we're certainly wasting money just starting the instances, but
yes,
that's
but if
that's
they are
an
deleted
EC2 plugin
immediately,
problem. Yeah.
For the lol, Stefan, the bug comes from the fact that we have a cloud init that format and mount the NVMe, and there is a race condition on the plugin that missed the end of that one and still try to connect to SSH indefinitely until they say, oh, okay, the SSH key is not good. And that's just a bug. If you click connect, the machine immediately connects. Yep, that's a race condition in EC2. That's a funny bug.
Okay. Yeah, but that should, yeah.
Hervé, may I ask you to create the issue? Is that okay for you?
That
With the
Hervé, if you
two
would prefer,
proposals.
I can create the issue. It's one I've certainly got I've had lots of involvement in. Maybe it's better, Damien, if I create it just because I'm the one who typically does the delete agent button, and so.
Thanks, Mark, for saving our credits.
That's what he loves. He loves saving credits. Good job.
Who needs cloud code when you can have Mark Wade instead? Sorry, I'm keeping this one for myself. Other than that, yeah, we will decide what to do with AWS credits soon. Mark, we still need to answer to their request for credit stuff it for January, right?
Yes, I was just making myself a note. But yes, we've got to respond. We've got to ask for credits, absolutely. And we've got to do that. We've got to do that. Preferably, we do that before you leave, before you go on vacation.
Yep. I guess we will involve Hervé on that
right.
part.
Good idea.
So he can follow up. Yep, we'll see. If we get more credits, we will use them and we will keep having that bug, but keep CI where it is, and we will use the Azure credit for anything else.
But I'm assuming you opened an issue on the EC2 plugin to tell them the race condition.
I actually don't know that I have. That's another thing to do. Right.
Neither do I. That's a good point. We should.
Isn't Albert working on this area?
I don't know. The question is, do we have an issue or not? If we don't have any issue, no one can work on that area.
Yeah,
of course.
as far as I know, we don't have it. At least I have not created an issue, and I've not seen one from anyone else.
I did not either.
Agreed.
Yep, we have to.
It just we've been busy with other things, and so
I'm sorry to put some work on you, and then
no,
that's right. To be fair, I also created an issue about the LTS, which is in the LTS, that fails we still have CI Jenkins IO suffering from that, that fails the migration of user in the new format since, and it happened since the next LTS line, the previous LTS line. And I'm still owing Jesse a reproduction case, and I didn't have time for that. So yeah.
But
a bit
again,
late.
that one has an easy. It's a no impact bug. Effectively, it has an easy workaround.
Yep.
Our other
And I've
things did not have easy
yep,
workarounds, and were certainly high impact.
remove all user directories and be done with it. They will be recreated on the next login.
Oh,
And
okay.
they already lost their token
Yeah, the
anyway.
token is
So
already dead. Yeah.
yep, Daniel is pushing me to do that, but Tim was like, oh, maybe we need to reproduce. So that's why I want to have a reproduction case before doing that way. Anyway, JFrog. Yep, yep, yep. Thanks, Mark, for communicating with our with JFrog people on that.
Oh, and JFrog's got a dismaying story there, right? It's we used 12 terabytes of bandwidth in December from a single IP address in AWS, and I've I warned them. I said, I'm sorry, we can't do anything about this. One single IP address used 12 terabytes.
Yep.
And I told them mid December, you've got to block this IP address. You've got to. And they responded, okay, we'll ask. But as far as I can tell, it was not blocked because as of 31 December, the report shows truly 12 terabytes used by this one address.
Yep.
And so now this month it looks like that usage from that address has dropped to zero. I don't know if it's because they implemented the IP block or because the address stopped
The IP
abusing us.
changed. Or the
Yeah.
IP changed.
Right, exactly, could be. Although I'm not seeing any user that's that horrific.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's
But I mean, they cannot put robots.txt. They cannot put the anti-LLM protection. They cannot put a DDoS thing in front, and they cannot block IPs. I mean, we did the best, and we continue moving on. And if they decide it's not enough, we will have to take drastic measures. Thanks. Now I'm looking quickly at the task we were able to do on the milestone since we already passed 50 minutes. Many support things. S319X has been used temporarily to build Docker images. No need to roll back the tools here because in any case, we want to have the same tools on every agent of our platform. So these tools are installed in the Packer images template. They should have been installed in S390X, no matter what. So thanks, Survey, and Mark on that part. We had an issue with the reports Jenkins IO bucket. We weren't tracking the expiration date of the credential used for this one. So we had to add the tracking of this. It was fixed in Trusted with the easy way. We moved to credential-less because in Trusted we can. Yep, we had the latest symlink is back for War and Windows. Usage in plugin, that one was closed with no action required. Core components were migrated successfully. Thanks Hervé, thanks Tim, and everyone else involved in that one. Thanks Mark and Daniel on the Gradle plugin dependency. That was a mistake on their own. They fixed it. Everything is going well. Sen in maintainable parts. Thanks Hervé for the work on Javadoc. So Javadoc is now running in credential-less with its current thing. The next step will be to merge the Javadoc data inside the NFS. Good news, we can use EasyCopy with NFS now. So instead of a slow earthing that takes 1 hour and a half, we could keep using EasyCopy with the current credential-less pattern. So that will be in the next step. A bunch of permission setup for onboarding back Hervé and onboarding Jay on some areas. So they were able to migrate Kubernetes to a new version and operate some element and rotate some credentials. And yep, that one we don't care. That was a requirement for PKG that has been delivered and we're done. That's packaging stuff. Why do we have this one? Many permissions. Credential-less service principle, we did everything in Trusted. That was the scope of this issue. So Trusted is for Azure Service Principle, putting files in Azure storage. We don't use credentials anymore. We don't have to rotate them, so that's less work for us. Thanks, Stefan, and thanks, Hervé, for the work on that part. On the updates, so we successfully released the Azure Credential Core release. I think, Hervé, you tried to do it, but you were stuck. We fixed many permissions and you were able to finish this one. Is that correct? So pro tip, you cannot define the concept of group with the Azure applications. You can only do it for users in Azure Resource Manager, virtual machines, vaults, Docker, whatever. But when you manage Azure AD or Azure Infra resources, you can only have users assigned with permissions. So we have a list of users and we need to templatize that. And the rest were usual rotation. RPU, I had to do it, but we did it in pairs where they had the knowledge, but that required an Artifactory admin. And for the rest, everything else was performed by Hervé. I don't remember any issue except missing permission that we fixed immediately, right? Any question on these ones? That issue, that was an old one, that was initially about packaging, but that was a user in China that was asking for better performance or mirrors of the update center, contrary to the issue title. They confirmed, we pinged them saying, hey, now we are using new update centers since at least 1 year, and we have Fastly and Cloudflare. And they confirmed that performances are good, and they switch to another technique to get better performance. I don't know what is it. I guess connection to another cloud provider. But in any case, they say everything was resolved, so we don't have any more pressure to provide mirror inside China nowadays. We could, but that's not a constraint anymore. No one is requesting it since at least 1 year and a half now. So no action needed here. Now, work in progress. We have a bunch of issues that I won't details that are waiting for the LTS release. Some might require some additional task on infra, 1 or 2 pull requests to be merged on the day of the release. Hervé has the knowledge. We finished the backports before getting to that. These are the three main things. Unified RPM with the reports, new GPG key, and thanks, Mark, we were able to also deliver the signature files for the WAR file. That's really cool. We need to do it for LTS, but that's already there for the weeklies. Now, on the support part, we have a request about plugin bundling closed source. I haven't followed up on this one.
It's the security GenSec has some follow-up step to finish. I did not ping Daniel on this issue since it was just before Christmas.
Okay.
Let him the time to.
Many thanks, Hervé. So that means no action required from us, just waiting
No.
and keeping an eye. Cool. Daniel requested eventually a new website or an area where to put a few static resources served by a web server. Hervé, you answered with the proposal we brainstormed about yesterday.
Yes, it's about putting the generated indexed HTML and JSON into folder on report.jenkins.io. So Daniel, so it can be deployed and deployed also with something else than GitHub page, and he can then follow up with a proper integration in Jenkins.io, like the plugin maintainer page table.
So that will be not a lot of effort for us except one job in Infra CI. Daniel is autonomous immediately and no need to create domain names and stuff. Spot reclamation caused build failures in core build. Team identified that, yep, we have some cases where spot reclamation can fail. We have to, we discussed in the details, their implementation should be easy. We need to add a new, I believe it's a new node pool or pod template. I don't remember exactly. Solution written in the issue. need to act. That was on hold due to PKG, so we can resume the work. Also, we were initially thinking we could use the Azure credits and move CI Jenkins IO back to Azure, so no more Spot. So that would have been an automatically solved problem. That's not the case, so we can resume the problem to avoid the pain for our core developers now. Any question on this one? That's mainly templating of pod agents and labeling, as far as I remember. Eventually, creating a new carpenter CRD for Linux nodes, but that one should be easy.
Right now, CI got problems with bot instance reclaim, was easy to plug in, and is slow to respond. That's right?
Yep,
Okay.
that's the best Jenkins ever, right? Or the best cloud platform ever.
You're
Yeah,
missing me.
Amazon. I mean, Amazon. Who could have told, hey, let's put all the money on shitty services on. Yep. Anyway, we have credits, so we use them. CI Jenkins IO is responding slowly. I don't think it's a problem anymore. It's fixed. So was on hold. Needs to provide reproduction.
Yeah,
No, no,
and
no. Sorry, sorry, sorry.
I have a suspicion that it may be back, but I have no firm evidence of it. It's just when I open a build of Jenkins core, it responds slower than usual, but it needs, as is the usual pattern with this, right? Is we close the issue and the day after or the week after we reopen the issue because we're being beaten on again. Yeah. So, and I'm going to drop off. I've got to go to another meeting, but thanks very much, everybody.
Thanks, Mark. Bye. So yep, we need to resume work and thought process on this one. Do we want to put a front system to protect us from DDoS and usages? Cloudflare is really good. Anubis and other systems could be useful in order to detect from shared lists some incoming IPs or behavior. It's like an NIDS, a simpler NIDS, because we
And
could also put
you put away
snort.
the option to force login?
No, that's still the first one to consider, honestly.
Oh yeah. Sorry, missing that.
Yep, no problem. Because the amount of work will be way lower.
Yeah.
And that
And
will solve the problem. Yep.
that's not so crazy.
More components means more moving pieces, means more time to spread our brains
No, the
and
problem with the forcing login is to make sure that the login process will handle all those calls. That's all. Database.
oh no, that's okay.
Okay.
Uh, the next step after forcing login is if someone really is trying to because that will move from right now it's these are LLMs that are getting the data and fetching data randomly. That we are DDoSed, but inadvertently. It's because the system tried to get data out. If we had the login, most of the time it will stop and consider, okay, for one, I'm stopping. However, if someone wants to suddenly try to DDoS using only request for authentication, the problem will be a different DDoS. So, yep,
But that's
let's
not the same people, so that's probably not the problem right there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Anubis is interesting. However, I haven't looked on the action method because yes, Anubis provide a good data set, but if we are DDoSed, I mean, the instance running Anubis will be DDoSed and will cost us some money. So that's the
Yeah, to be studied. Yeah, but
it's just you need a thread of a process on a machine to get the requests. And additionally, you have a pile of TCP requests incoming. Whether they are handled by CI Jenkins IO with Apache and the JVM or whatever other technique, you will still have the same amount of requests.
Oh yeah, the
So,
DDoS is there. There's
so
no.
in the end, whether we use Anubis or login or both, if we end on DDoS, we end on DDoS. And here only tools like Cloudflare by delegating to something with a VAC or dedicated appliances will help. I guess we have DDoS protection that could be checked also on Azure or Amazon. They have their own VAC as a service. I still think login will be interesting because the argument that team made is interesting. There are no reason why we should open CI Jenkins IO immediately publicly. It should be available by anyone publicly if they create an account. Yes. We have weekly CI Jenkins IO in order to show things. So we just have to improve the way weekly CI Jenkins IO is defined, but that shouldn't be a problem. So there goes even the reason not having an account. And then we can put the effort on account. Okay, next one, there was some CSP thing. It was on hold. I propose we keep this one on hold right now until we have the new LTS release that will ha have all these CSP things. Is that okay for you folks?
You mean the CSP will be included in the core and not a plugin?
It's already the case
Oh,
starting
awesome.
with 5.3.9. So that's why waiting for the LTS seems wise before resuming the
Yeah,
work on this one. Any
awesome.
objection? Wait for. I'm thinking aloud. We had to change the CSP plugin setup in order not to break the restart when we upgraded Infra CI and Weekly CI. I tried before as it requires cask change. Maybe there is something. We'll see next week. Bunch of bad links. Resuming brainstorming on this one. Unless survey you found just a quick
No,
change.
but yeah, no, a quick brainstorming would be nice on it, but would be good. We nothing special to add since last time.
Yes, the fix is something in JavaScript or HTML. That's honestly, I don't care, and we shouldn't care about that. What we should care about is where is the code for this HTML
It's
file located and how is
it's
it delivered?
yeah, it's how the Jenkins IO component are integrated in those page.
Yes,
We have
so
to find out.
there is a page that write a line. Where is that
Yeah,
page sourced and how is it deployed to production? That's the only thing we should
yeah.
care about.
Uh, uh, um, I think I think it's in packaging.
Okay, where is the HTML source and how is it delivered? I mean, I totally trust you on the matter of the fix, but that's one thing to have the fix on your machine. It's not in production either. So that's why that should be our priority. Thinking about, oh, okay, maybe we have things unversioned, or if it's versioned, then if it's in packaging, that means we have to deliver it as a back part of packaging if you want it to have for the LTS.
Yay. Yeah.
That's why we need to focus on the delivery before the fix itself. Release bot user API token thanks survey. So one last minor task, storing password in subs. So, and then we can close it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Cool. On hold. On hold, no infra action required. And that's the same for the migration of issues. Yep, 3 weeks milestone is insane. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to do as my best. On the task we are really working on, not the support. PKG, we only need to clean up and that will be closed. I don't have anything specific unless someone has a question. Stats, it's on hold and we need to resume. To resume work. That one is not a priority for now. It is for Alexander Brandes and people who like metrics and dashboards. but none of them want to do the dirty work. So yep, on that matter, Alex changed his mind and asked for and requested access to uplink, which is not working, which we will have to fix. Thanks, Jay, for the OpenVPN part. Now time to work on it. And the access on Azure CDF, closable. All access are granted for now. Any question on these ones? Did I miss something?
No.
Keep infrastructure up to date. Hervé, Windows 2025.
Yeah, no update since last time. No good update. I tried to set the Docker TMP environment variable to use the local disk seed point with Docker, but I still encounter various error due to most probably due to some things stored in the local NVMe that are failing us. So the next step is trying with agent without any local NVMe.
Okay, that will mean we will need to have a whole set of agents that are not the same as the Maven ones. Okay, thanks. But this is only for let's decrease the amount of agent type that we have. We still have the higher topic, which is providing Windows 2025 agents. I don't
Yeah.
remember the status on that part.
It's blocked by similar issue. I need to get Windows 25 agent to get my already open since a long time request to add those variants in C.
No, you're mixing
No.
two areas. You're mixing
Okay.
infrastructure and Docker images.
So
Here we are infrastructure. What
yeah,
is the status for CI Jenkins IO if we want Windows 2025 agent for, let's say, Maven build?
it's in the plan. I don't have the planner add-on, but
Okay.
it was detailed in the issue.
Okay. That is absolutely not a blocker to finish the work on providing 2025 agents. As far as I remember, that's what we discussed before the holidays, and we have to start working on it again, and that's one of our top priority now. The idea is that we accept that for now, we provide 2022 and 2025. Yes, Stefan, looks like you
I'm
have your hand
sorry,
raised.
I tried to raise my hand, but I don't know where. I do remember working on that area and preparing everything and put that on hold because we were waiting for 2019 to be removed, not to pay too much
Yep,
of agents
that's
and
part of the plan that Hervé mentioned, but we
yeah,
slightly updated it
okay.
because time constraints, and also we need 2025
Yeah,
as
but
the
they
default.
were spawning. They were spawning. They were
Yeah, that's
working.
part of the plan. And that I
Okay,
guess
cool.
that means Hervé, for that milestone, you have to resume the plan. It's one of the bigger priority after the backports, of course. But yeah, it is
Oh,
just
okay.
I just want to mark that this one is an optimization.
Yeah, this one is just Docker running on 2025 to build anything,
Yeah,
but
sorry,
you need
I didn't.
2025.
Yeah, I was not even responding to that line. I
Okay.
was in
Okay,
my mind on
okay,
something else.
perfect.
Sorry.
Woo!
So we are all aligned then. So yep, resuming work then. Is that the right status?
Yes, I can pass the link to the current plan, but yeah, just modifying the link above.
Cool. So the goal again is to, as soon as possible, that if the plan is on the issue, that's okay. It's I
Yeah,
just wanted
resume
to
the plan.
underline.
Yeah,
And as
yeah.
you said, okay, you were answering about something else, so
No, no, yeah.
we can.
Sorry.
And the priority will be finish 2025, and I believe it's already the case. We already have 2025 on CI or almost there, just one template away. The tricky part will be using them as the latest, a bit like what we did with the Docker image earlier today.
And the tricky thing is to keep the update CLI to get the correct image numbers to be sure to get the correct agent in
That's easy.
2025. Yeah, that's
That one
easy.
is
That was almost done, and that was done probably just commented,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
The latest is more telling the user of CI Jenkins who are using Windows
Yeah,
builds
of
that,
course.
hey, maybe you will see your build with a new behavior. And in
Some
February,
bites.
James Nord will open a ticket
Yes.
saying, Win32 API
Yeah.
has this specific behavior
Yeah.
in 2025 that we never had before, or something like
Yeah,
that.
and we will tell him, okay, hold on, because Damien is very busy right now, and
No,
we'll wait
Hervé,
for
James,
March.
Hervé and Stefan are the new Windows specialists. So even if I'm back, I will
That's
flow
so.
James
away.
and James
Sorry?
and Tim are asking
Yep.
us, and we are. It's
They are
also aware,
writing
but
C code about the seed
yeah,
generator on Windows Server.
yeah, and he found that it seems that RDP port isn't open.
Yes,
Such,
because
but yeah, okay.
we don't even have RDP enabled on our
Yeah,
agents.
of course.
That's why. Tim explained it to James, but James missed the comment. He said, "Hey, I'm using SSH like the Jenkins agent." Wink, wink.
Yeah, you will see the later
We
comments.
won't enable RDP.
Oh no, no,
That's
Okay,
you
no way.
shouldn't
just
ever.
But
uh,
yep, they
yeah,
are doing their stuff. You
yeah,
gave the
they're
right
doing their
resource.
stuff. Yeah,
Let them. I mean,
let
we
them
are in the
cook. Yeah.
area of FIPS compliance of Windows kernel seed generator. Eventually, however, I'm thinking a lot, but that will good to tell them, hey, we are working on putting 2025 as default. Maybe that's what you should aim at.
Yes.
Just what do you think about that idea? So they won't be grumpy in 2 weeks when we will do the change.
Yeah, adding a comment and letting them know that if they need something from us, they
Yep.
should open an help desk.
Yep, but mention 2025 should be soon the default for the Maven builds. Mention it, please, with a link to the issue. Jay, that's on you. The report Jenkins, same as trusted, but on that case, we had to keep the expiration date and the credential rotation, at least nowadays. And we weren't tracking the dates, so they expired and it failed a lot of builds, including all Terraforms, all infra reports. We fixed the problem in emergency during the holidays. And Jay, you had a pull request. I guess that has been merged earlier today.
Yeah, it has.
So now it's tracked. So it's closable, right?
Yes.
Cool. So I will just let you check, or we will check the results of the merge pull request because I haven't. I merged it, but I haven't watched it. Bad. Because I trust the code you made was good. But yeah, that's closable. Incremental publisher service. Oh, yeah, okay. That's the one, Damien, needs to provide reproduction in the core issue. So no more incidents, no infra thing. That was the user directory in CI Jenkins said we should delete thing. To be worked by Hervé and Damien in pair. And the certificate, see discussion above. Okay. Infracron's resuming work as well. Because some are missing, such as the GeoIP database, since we removed them from Kubernetes. Some are still working, but sometimes failing. The goal is to run all of them, including the new one that Mark will add. So the framework has been set, and now we need a first one. I also added the garbage collect inactive branches. I would want, if no one objects, to work on this because that's easy. There is no specific knowledge. This is about creating Jenkins files and a bunch of shell scripts. So there is nothing specific that will be stuck on my mind if I need to go. Are there any objection on that proposal?
No, and what do you think if I focus on only Ansible, or do you want me to take care of some renewal?
I guess Ansible will be interesting because that's something that everyone can share.
Yeah. And Hervé, again,
Won't you?
I'm here. No problem. Just call.